Greetings, card fighters, and welcome to Premium 101, an introduction to Cardfight Vanguard's premium format. I'm Devlin Cassidy, aka The Scholar, and I'm here to help you start your premium format journey in the game of Cardfight Vanguard. I hope that this starter's guide for today's clan is very beneficial in having you figure out what deck you want to pick up when you decide to play premium. I hope that you find this video very informational and helpful, and hopefully have you start on your premium journey. Now we're here talking about Dark Irregulars. This, my friends, for those that follow me on the channel, know that this is a very fan favorite deck for me personally. I love No Life King combo. So this, I can truly say full-heartedly, is the true combo deck of Vanguard. This is where you have one turn to kill your opponent or you lose, because you just deck out straight up. You're just going through your entire deck, soul charging, drive checking everything, and it's a win or you barely have any like fallback play on after. But this deck is just so cool. So the main unit behind this is No Life King Death Anchor, this beautiful SVR, my favorite SVR in the game. When in place, you soul charge one, it gets plus 2,000 power for every single card in your soul. So if you have the lucky number 13, that's a free 26, and it's a 38k beat stick just right off the bat. It's really strong. But at the end of the battle attack, if you have 13 or more cards in soul, you get to counterblast one, put a card from your hand in 3 rear guards into your soul, ride a card from your soul as stand, and that unit gets plus 1 critical. So if you add another Death Anchor, you'll soul charge, check again for all of those cards you just added in the soul, plus the 4, and the 5th off the soul charge, and he just gets incrementally bigger. So you can do this multiple times, or you can extend one more time into Master of Gravity Barrel Magnus. For all of my standard players know what this guy is. If there are 15 or more, you get essentially all the effects of where you get to draw a card. Barrel Magnus gets plus 10k in a crit. If it's off the NLK effect, it will be plus 10k with 2 crit because of the NLK giving the crit. So it's 23, 3 crit. Have to respect it. And then both you and your opponent, you get a board reset. Except you get to call cards from Soul. And while that not may be overly powerful in standard, you have very strong guard restricts into premium, like Hope on Dump, of when your soul has 20 or more cards on place, your opponent can only call original shield value 20 at the same time. So they can't call like a 10 and a 5 at the same time. They have to call they can't call like a 10 and a 15 at the same time, or a 10 and a 5. It has to be exactly 20 every time they put cards on the Guardian Circle, which unfortunately can just like rip through your hand and end the game. Very, very, very strong combo in terms of you get like the whole shebang off. But how do we kind of get there, and how do we make sure that this can swing multiple times? Well, DI has an access to a starter called Enigmatic Assassin. Enigmatic Assassin allows you to essentially keep popping her in and out of soul, and she lets you go through and extend on a higher ceiling. So she's a rear guard that's going to constantly come out of soul, so she's going to be your third every time. And she is so fantastic because she gets power, so she's not a bad attacker either. She's going to be a 20k attacker most times inside this deck. So you're just able to get a continually high ceiling. You can loop her with this promo Coveted Succubus to countercharge to make sure you're not counterblast denied for your NLK combo. Soul charge a little more, draw more cards. But then the beautiful promo of Deep Geldis is the crazy card. So you get to soul blast your V starter out of the soul, and then target a unit on your board, and you search up to the same number of units that you have in the deck, put them into your soul. So you can get your Variance Killer Tail, which we will cover in a second, or you can get more Dimension Creeper just to fuel your soul even more. This card is absolutely fantastic, and I think made DI even better. The less CB soul charging we have, the better, so that way we can support more focus into NLK's top end. But why is having multiple copies of Variance Killer Tail so good? So Variance Killer Tail lets you put a card from Damage Zone or your drop into Soul and rest her, and then you have 3 Variance Killer Tail in Soul. You can restand her and you countercharge one. Because if you took the card from damage, you put the top card of your deck face down in the damage zone, but you get to immediately countercharge that, so that's a plus. But this means you can recycle your Dimension Creepers, and you get to soul charge more with them. When you soul blast them out, you soul charge too. So this sub engine between Killer Tail and Dimension Creeper is a very good engine. And then you also have a draw engine with Fuginlin. If you open one of these and are able to call it to rear guard and not get it removed, it's going to soul charge you 3 cards while trying to draw you further into your combo pieces. And always drawing Dimension Creeper feels really dud. Being able to shove it to soul for free is really, really strong. So don't doubt on that at all. And then of course we play Gargamel Held because we're a very Vanguard centric deck in terms of like we get to swing it a bunch of times. So yeah, of course I'd love an extra 10k and a crit on that bad boy. But then in Premium Collection 2022, we got another Dimension Stride. This is Ultimate Deep Hades Emperor 4 Fox, and this is the highest top end card we have in the deck. So at the end of the battle, your grade 3 Vanguard swings at your opponent's grade 3 Vanguard. You can counterblast 1 and discard 5 cards from your hand. If your soul has 13 or more cards, you can stride him for face down on your Vanguard as stand. If your deck has 13 or less cards, you can choose 3 critical triggers from your soul and put them back to deck. Pretty dangerous when you have 1 card left in deck, I must say. Getting able to put those resources back for free is absolutely impeccable. This is the main stride you will go into using the NLK loop. However, a good follow-up stride is Blader Mouse for when you kind of hit a grind game, like you don't kill, like your opponent maybe unfortunately hit the OT, like in your mid combo. It kind of sucks. So Blader Mouse actually lets you put all of your grade 0 units back to your deck from soul and or rearguard circle, and he's phenomenal. He's so good. I love the fact that he's just able to recuperate all that lost value and just shove your deck full of triggers, so your defensive value is very, very high. It's absolutely something that I would not take for granted at all. You have some other finishers. Maybe you have Garvons if you haven't gotten your soul up to 13. Like 13 is your make or break, and most good players are going to damage deny you just to kind of avoid, because this high roll can be so terrifying because of No Life King. But this deck, if you love combo decks, you will absolutely have a blast playing DI and Premium. If you guys really do love Barrow Magnus, you guys get to transition one of your favorite D-Series bosses to Premium. Like, this deck is so much fun. I could talk about this deck for almost as long as I could talk about Great Nature, just because this deck is still really fun. It's been the same deck for a long time, so if you invested into this deck is still very good. And I think that Deep Geldus has really improved the quality of this deck for a long time. So I hope you guys really enjoy DI's No Life King combo. There's some other archetypes, but they're not really fleshed out, and I feel they're not as viable, and I'm trying to go for the most viable lists as possible. But if you guys want me to go over deck logs or other things for some other options for DI, I'd be happy to do so. But that's going to do it for our favorite Dark Boys. Let's roll into Gear Chronicle. And there you have it. Hopefully some of the deck ideas found here in this clan were very, very beneficial for you all, and so that way you guys can start your premium journey. If not, feel free to check out the other starters guides on this channel if you kind of have a rough idea of what clans you're looking into, or there's the entire video of where all this was broken up from that you guys can feel free to put on the background and listen to, as you guys can watch me ramble about decks. But I hope that this was very beneficial and that you guys continue along with me. Hopefully see you in the next lesson, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all later.